submissions this week, so I definitely want to get started. But one thing I wanted to talk about before we really dove into reactions and things like that, right? Um, the platform has been getting a lot of love recently, and I just wanted to shout out to the Music Mondays community, right? There was one tweet in particular from somebody that kind of caught my attention, and I wanted to talk about it with you guys for a second. Whether you watch this live or on the channel when it goes up. But recently we had gotten a tweet that was from an artist by the name of Full Blown Meltdown. And they had said, word for word, "What you all do is seriously so underappreciated, but fuck, do artists owe you a ton. It's basically free marketing for us, and it's amazing. Please keep this up forever." Um, so I'd reading that, right? A couple of things kind of just rung in my head. The biggest kind of being like, finally, you know what I mean? Many of you know my background with UVC, 29 Club, and a lot of like the early underground years, like post like 2016, right? Because I've been a listener since 2013, but I wasn't actually making music and getting myself involved in the scene until 2017. So there was a couple years there where I was just purely a listener. Um, and then I started producing, and then I started writing on my own, and then we did what we did with UVC. The pandemic happened, and then now we're here, kind of getting the new generation of the underground together. And it's not really like a generation like numbers wise. It's just like every year there's more and more people getting into music, and there's more and more people getting into their art form, whether it be production, whether it be graphic design or cover art or YouTube or like you name it. You know what I mean? Um, so realistically, to finally get that recognition from the community that we're not like other media platforms, because that's loosely what I replied was, that's really the goal, um, is to kind of do what these other platforms don't and really like fill in that gap. And that gap has always been very important to me because every other platform, it's the same shit, right? It's the same artists. They don't do anything for new guys. They don't care about what you do unless it's involving money. They don't care what you do unless it's doing numbers. They don't care what you're doing unless it's attention grabbing. You know what I mean? And that's everything we're not. You know, we make a conscious effort to really push the boundaries of like what we do, right? We, like I said, want to fill in those gaps because a lot of these other platforms don't. And don't get me wrong, you'll find platforms here or there that are kind of doing what we're doing, but not at the rate or for as long as we have, right? Music Mondays has already been around for 2 years, but it was like the first year was kind of like, like post pandemic. The world was still kind of weird. Not a lot of people were playing shows yet. 2022 was when everything really started to kind of come around again. And the fact that the community is really understanding like not only our goal but my goal, and really like what we're doing with this, because this isn't just like um this isn't just like some kind of like new thing to me. I've been doing this for a long time, right? Whether it be social media management, whether it be writing, whether it be hands-on production with artists and vocalists, whether it be things that I do with management now. This is very important to me, and we're setting up for the future because everybody needs a platform for the future, right? And a lot of these platforms that you see just kind of, they come and go, you know what I mean? But we want to be the premier platform for everybody new that's coming in, but we also want to be the place that veterans also go to that they can trust, because like this platform is backed by someone who's been around, right? So whenever I see like other veterans or other people that have been around kind of say like that the scene is dead, it's just kind of cap. It's bullshit because the show proves otherwise. SoundCloud Sunday proves otherwise. Our website proves otherwise, right? So whenever you see people say that kind of shit, it's coming from a place of like nostalgia, you know what I mean? Because I was around for those really good years too. But at the end of the day, like it's not about like recreating that. It's about adjusting to what's new and also kind of bringing what was good about back then into right now. You know what I mean? So that's really where we're headed, and the fact that even one or two community members are actually like fully understanding this um means a lot to me, because we've put in a lot of work, right? And um a lot of our content is very much not only consistent, but it's very pure and passionate, and it's something that's like from not only the heart, but it's from experience. It's from people that actually give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, because passion is great, but like, if it's not genuine, then what the fuck? And that's something I take pride in. You know what I mean? And not just myself, but for all the staff. You know what I mean? They're all hand selected individuals that not only are great at their roles, but they're also creators behind the scenes. They also are producers, they're vocalists, they're designers, they're all sorts of things like that. You know what I mean? So our staff, kind of is filled with different types of experiences, but that's also where our main motto comes from: for the underground, by the underground, right? Because the thing with a lot of these other platforms, right, is not a lot of them are backed by people that are from the scene. They're backed by individuals that are fans of the scene. They're they don't make music. They're just kind of outsiders, right? They've never been to a studio. They've never, released a song. They've never done X, Y, or Z. And I'm not saying people like that can't get involved with the scene, but that's why you see a lot of this kind of like mixing of like weird perspectives, because they don't have the same respect for the art that someone like we would. You know what I mean? And that's what's really important about that. So when it comes to like what makes us different, that's why our core is what it is. You know what I mean? Because you can't kind of replicate this, no matter how much money you throw at it, no matter how much, people in suits you throw at it, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, you can't replicate that experience. So again, the fact that the community is, not only recognizing that now, but they're also kind of understanding our message. Um, I personally just wanted to say thank you, but at the same time, just know that this isn't like, um, this is my job, right? Outside of Music Mondays, I also manage a roster of artists. So like, there is no plan B for me. Like, this is what I do full time. You know what I mean? And not a lot of people can relate to that unless they're already full time. So this is not like some like passion project for me. Like, yeah, it is, in the sense of like, we don't go the traditional route of like, oh, pay me for my services. Everything we do on Music Mondays is very exclusive. So like, you could call it a passion project in like that aspect, but this isn't something that like, I just kind of started for fun. This is very important, and a lot of the future kind of depends on this. The things that we're archiving, the artists that we speak to, the YouTube uploads that we do. It's all a constant archive of like what underground music was like for the past 3 fucking years. You know what I mean? So like 10, 20 years from now, the fact that I have all these files backed up, and we have our YouTube archive as big as we do, and our website's packed with articles, and it's important for the scene. You know what I mean? Like, it's important for that aspect, but it's also important for right now. So huge shout out to the Music Mondays community, and huge shout out to anybody that's paying attention, new or old. Welcome. Huge shout out to the people that have been here since 2021 and when Music Mondays was founded. And huge shout out to anybody that's brand new, coming on within the last day, month, week, year, doesn't matter. You're all welcome here. So let's fucking get it, baby. So I just wanted to speak on that for a second. You know what I mean?